Well, hello everybody. Bill Thornton, Socalsabre. Yeah, and this is the monthly Q&A and channel report on a Monday instead of Sunday. Yeah, I had to go out of town yesterday. That was for some family business. So I apologize if anybody that screwed up anybody that wanted to watch yesterday and can't make it today, but this is being recorded. So check it out later and put some comment. If you're watching live now and you got some questions you want to ask or anything, just put them in there. Don't worry about interrupting me. Put them in and I'll get right with you and we'll carry on whenever we can. And if you're watching later, just put it in the comments and I will get back with you. I like to hear from you and everything. So today I'm going to be doing it is the Q&A, of course, and I'm going to be doing a short report on October's activities, tentative plans for November, my favorite pro teams, sports teams, and myself in general. So, like I said, if you got a question, just go ahead and put it in the remark sections, or if you have something you want to talk about, let's go for it. I guess the biggest news I want to talk about is that later this week on Thursday will be the game giveaway. It'll be on Thursday the 30th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And people are eligible to get into the drawing up until about noon on Thursday. After that, I'm going to have to shut it down so I can make sure that their names are in the cup for the drawing, because it is a drawing. While we're on this up, you know what surprises me? We have 1,230 subscribers. I just looked a little while ago, and there's been 117 views of the game giveaway and sale video. And there's only 10 people so far that have said they wanted to be in the game giveaway. Free is free. Yeah, well, nothing to commit to except for making a comment and being a subscriber. But to each his own. So that just increases the odds greatly of the people that are winning. Okay. Well, like I said, as of now, we have 1,230 subscribers. We're up 6 from last month. A little bit of growth is nice. All my subscribers are appreciated. All ones for 4 or 5 years ago, all the way up to the ones from this week. Appreciated them much. The PC Gaming with Bill channel, which is basically pretty much shutting down, is 19. Those games when I play those games now, they're starting to be put. Dave's board game. Good afternoon, Dave. How are you doing? I just bringing my monthly report up here and question and answer period on Mondays instead of Sunday because I had to go out of town. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and shoot them in. You don't have to worry about interrupting me. I'll stop whatever I'm doing and talk to anybody. Okay, and then on the Music and Spins channel, we have 19. We're up 5. That one's yeah, glad to hear everything is well. And Joe, you're glad to see you that you're on. Good luck on the free game, you guys, this week. The music channel, like I said, it's got a little bit of growth. It grew 5 in the last month. So if you like music, go down here and check it out. It's Music, Spins, and Sounds with Bill. Tell your friends if you got music lovers want to see what I listen to every week and talk about anything in music down there if they want to. All right. In October, I did 3 live broadcasts counting this report and talking about 21 and the game giveaway, which was live. And let's see, PC games. I did 2 out of the park baseball ones, 1 tower simulator one, and 1 American Truck Simulator one that just recently went up on this channel here. They are games, but that channel is really dead. I don't know what happened on there. That was just a good experiment. It didn't work. Bring them back over here, or start posting them back over here, because I posted 1 ETS and got 40 views, so somebody wants to watch them. The music videos, I did 4 weeklies of what I listened to, and I did a whatnot unboxing of what came in a big box this week or last week, sometime during the month. Sports games, Inside the Crease, I played 2. Hi, Joshua. How you doing? Good to see you. I played two Inside the Crease 2006-2007 playoff games. I posted one SSG basketball game. It's the 2022-2023 playoffs. Got a few more of those working, and I'll do like four of them from the first round of the playoffs, and then I'll put SSG away. I'm having some fun with that game right now. And I did one out of the park baseball. Let's see. War games. I did do a first look at the pickup that I made, Combat Volume 1 from Compass Games. I'm about ready to just punch that one out. I did another one too, didn't I? Yeah, I did an unboxing, and that was the Cross Bronx Expressway that came in from GMT. I'm really interested in learning that one because that's what my family heritage. My family from the Bronx. I'm the first one in my family born outside of the Bronx. I was born in Buffalo, but my dad and grandpa and all of them from the Bronx back into the 1800s. Board games. I did one video on the setup for the Stonemeyer Games game called Vantage. I did one demo of play on it, and I did one solo playthrough of a small deck builder called Flip Tunes. And more to come. All right, like I said, we got the board game giveaway coming up here in a couple days. I don't have any requests working in consideration or working. I did in our last talking one of the individuals, I forget who it was, asked me if I ever played everyday player baseball or football, and I didn't remember ever seeing them. So I looked that company up, and they have football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. So I did support them. I picked up the hockey one. You'll see a video coming up, a little demo coming up on it and everything. It's everyday player games, and it come out. It was like $14.99, and it was 7 seasons came with it. It's PDF, but you have to do a little bit of cutting, but it's all right. I got a video coming out to show you how it plays. All right, personal gaming, still doing Superstar Baseball. 5 owners, 20 teams. We're through about 19. We're through about 18 games, 19 games now. All my teams are fighting for a playoff spot. So we'll see how that works. It's a 30-game season, so things could change because the way we do our draft provides so much competition in the league that some teams don't even get eliminated until like 3 games left in the season. It's a battle. What do I got working on the table now? I got Purple Haze working on the table. I'm starting to play through that. I'm going to play through a couple missions, and like I said last time, I'm probably going to try to give you a demo on that one there. And then I have SSG basketball working, and right now I have the box open and the rule books out on Cross Bronx Expressway. More sports are going to be coming. November. What am I going to be doing in November? Let me know your thoughts on this in November. Here we go. Talking about 22 is going to be on the 9th at 3 p.m. Bring your subjects and you want to talk about on that one. The monthly Q&A is going to be on the 30th of the month at 3 p.m., both on this channel. The culling game sale. The sale is going to be starting on Thursday right after the giveaway, and then I'm going to let it run until about the 15th of November. Remember, it's a first come, first serve. So if you're interested in purchasing one of the games, then you need to let me know because if you don't and somebody else comes in ahead of you, they'll get it first. So I'd like first come, first serve. Just hit me up with an email if you're interested in something that's on that video, and I'll let you know what I'm asking for it. All right, unboxings are going to continue. PC games will continue also, all the normal ones, American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, and Tower Simulator 3, maybe some more Ace PC Golf. Out of the park baseball season's getting close to ending. I'm thinking about like a game 150 in 1984. Tigers aren't looking real good. I'm going to get eliminated shortly, I think. Okay, more sports games are going to become. I'm thinking of here's the ones that have a chance of making it to the table in November. Some more 49 highlight hockey, some fall classic baseball. I got one more game. We're going to get that up, and then that'll probably be it for a while on that one. Apple football. I keep saying that every month. Some more SSG basketball and hockey bones. Those are the ones I got thinking about that'll have a chance of hitting the table in November. And then solo and multiplayer demos. I always want to try to do one or two of those a month. So, go down there and hit that bell down there, and you'll get notification that anytime I put something out, you won't miss it. All right. My favorite sports teams we'll talk about. Let's talk about what I got on the list. The Detroit Tigers. Well, before the playoffs started, I said they were going to be one and done. Well, they weren't. They did. I was worried they were going to make it the way they collapsed at the end of the season, but they did make it. But they lost in the second round to Seattle in Game 5. And what a classic game that was. I cannot believe 15 innings. That'll go down in history. That was really great. Who am I rooting for now? Toronto. There you go. Buffalo Bills, as of today, they're 5-2, but they're in second place in the East behind the Patriots. They're looking like a playoff team, but they have not convinced me yet that they have a good enough defense to go real deep in the playoffs. But we'll see. Hopefully they're going to keep making some improvements and become a better team. Their offense was just dynamite yesterday. I think they won 40-9 or something like that. But we'll see. Always a Bills fan. I don't know if I'll ever expect them to ever get back to the Super Bowl again. All right, the Boston Celtics. Well, they started. I've always talked about how this tough season was going to be with Jason Tatum's Achilles is going to be out for the season. Then they were in the second tier of that tax bracket that costs Boston so much money. So they traded away Porzingis and they traded away Drew Holiday. They got them out of the second tier and they get them down to the first tier. I don't know if they're out of the first tier or not, but then all their big guys, Al Horford, Luke Cornett, and I can't remember the other guy's name right now. That's a shame. I shouldn't be like that. But anyway, they all went and signed with somebody else, and so that left them in a real bad spot. They got one or two guys that are fairly tall, but they're not at the quality of the Al Horfords and Luke Cornett's and those guys. And I watched them play game 2 of the season, and it was obvious how small they were compared to the other teams. Well, they started off their 0-3. So my question is, first of all, I said at the beginning of the season, I said they'd be lucky to make the playoffs. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. So my question is, has anybody ever gone 0-82 in the NBA? I doubt it, but we'll see how long it's going to take Boston. But I got to say, the 3 losses, 2 of them were by 1 point, and 1 of them was by 3 points. So they were close anyway, but not good. Close only counts. Horseshoes and hand grenades. All right, then we got the Buffalo Sabres. The season started open when they lost their first 3 games of the season, and I was going, here we go again. We haven't been in the playoffs in 14 years. That's the history of Major League Sports right there. And then they start making a turnaround, right? And right now they're playing pretty good. They're 4-4-1 after going 0-3. So that's pretty good. And those wins were against people in their division, in the Atlantic Division. So that's really important too. So I must admit, though, in the last 5 years, like maybe 3 or 4 times, they started off really, really good in the season, and then ended up getting the 10-game losing streaks and that. So I'll keep my fingers crossed that don't happen. At least let the guys enjoy themselves and have some fun for once. All right, let's see. Me. I know I always talk about what I'm reading in that. I finally finished Night Moves, the book that the Tom Clancy series and Net Force was Night Moves. That was a pretty good book. That was interesting. I did order, and I received a book from the author Martin Popoff, and the name of the book is "Walking in the Shadow of the Blues: The White Snake Story." Earlier this year, I decided I picked a group that I kind of missed in their heydays and Whitesnake and their music and everything, and I decided I was going to try to learn more about them, get some more of their music and so forth. And now I have this book that, as I'm working through their discography, I'm reading a chapter about that particular thing to help me learn about that. And then the other book that I'm just about to start is called The Calamity of Souls by David Baldacci. I'm just about to start that one. Ali Baldacci. Well, we got one here. Hi, Frank. How you doing? Yeah, I'm not a boxing fan so much as following it and the stats and who's current and that now. But I do have two, and I do have some boxing board games. I have Legends of Boxing. I have Title Bout 2, and I have VSU Boxing. So I have 3 of them, and I enjoy them. I enjoy all of them. I've held tournaments on them, and there's a few on my channel. There's some videos up on that. In fact, I was thinking about putting some. Started a little VSU tournament after. It's VSU is a game created by Chris White, who you can find him on APA Cards and so forth on Facebook, and he creates a lot of different games. And it's a very quick one. It's not like Legends of Boxing and Title Bout 2, where we go round by round, punch by punch, and all of that stuff. It goes really, real quickly. So it's quick playing. I always like to have one of those in every sport that I have. All right. TV series, as I talked about, just finished another season of Terminal List. What an action-packed. So there's 2 seasons out on it. One's just called Terminal List, and one's Terminal List Dark Horse, I think, or Dark Age, something like that. What action. War type action, spy type action movies. That was pretty good. And then no, I don't have any of the old Avalon Hill War board games, Frank. I have a few of the old Avalon Hill bookshelf sports games, but none of the war games. And then November's coming. I'm looking forward to Stranger Things. The final season starts finally again in November. What a cool series that is. I like the sci-fi, the supernatural, and all of that good stuff. So I'm really into that. So is my whole family. We're all looking forward to checking that one out. Board games, I still have 11 of them that are on order. They're either through P500s or Kickstarters or GameFound, and one through a local game shop here. And so I have decided, because I'm just getting further and further behind from playing it, I am pretty sure now that 2026 is going to be a year where I'm not going to buy any board games at all. So that I can stop the flow in and work at getting some of the stuff going. I might have to slow down on my replays that I play all of these projects that I got going on the sports games a little bit to give me a little bit more time. But I have plenty of table space. That's not an issue. And my music, my vinyl collection is still growing. I just picked up some stuff on Whatnot in a sale yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And so we'll slow down a little bit on that one now for about a month or so now. I'm getting more stuff in for that. And health-wise, I went out. I did get my flu shot. I found a local pharmacy finally that was giving out the Madera COVID boosters, because for years I've been getting it at Rite Aid, but Rite Aid went out of business and closed every one of their stores. They left us all out in the Lowe's. But I found one. Went and got my booster shot. I have started, I've kept threatening about it. I have started back up to walking again. I'm not at the level that I was when I had 5 months ago when I had to quit when my hip was real bad. So I'm going to try to build myself back up to 3 or 4 times a week, and then how long. And right now I'm at just a little over a mile, but I want to work that up again to a couple miles. Are you a Def Leppard fan? I don't know if you. I have a couple things by Def Leppard, but I don't know if you would call. You would call me. I would call myself a fan. I just happen to have that database right here. I would just do a quick search on it. See it. My son was a big 70s hair metal guy. No, I'm not seeing anything on it. I'm sure I had something. But not seeing anything right now. I thought I had a couple things on there. Bill, you're up to so much great stuff. Playing, reading, learning. It's great. It reminds me to get going. I decided I always liked to do things even when I was younger, but I decided when I started getting up there in the age that I thought that one of the important things for me is to keep my mind active, keep it going, and learning and reading and playing games and listening to music and doing music reviews. All of that stuff keeps my mind going, keeps me learning things about board games, history, and everything. And I really have a lot of fun with it. And along came COVID, and I started this channel, and that keeps me going, doing things, meeting all of you people. So it's pretty cool. Especially, I had a big worry when I guess I probably told you this before. In 2003, I had cardiac arrest, and I was in a coma for 3 days. And when I come out of there, and I have some short-term memory issues that I have to make notes for on that. But I was really worried coming out of that how bad the memory thing was going to be. So that's another reason why I said I like to do all these things to keep my mind active. So that is about the end of my report for there, but got some people on. I'm more than willing to stay and chat with you guys if you want anything you want to talk about. Don't forget I'll remind it again, but don't forget the game giveaway is coming up on Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll be a drawing out of the cup like I've done in the past. And if you haven't got in yet and you want to be eligible, check out the video. You got up till noon. Noon on Thursday to get into it. How many games do I have in my collection? I got that one up right now too, Joe. So let me take a look at that. With the recent edition that came in from GAMT, it looks like I have 370 board games in my collection. That's multiplayer, war, and sports all combined. And that does not count any expansions. Have you been playing any Hockey Bones? Not lately, but it is on my list that I was talking about earlier in there of things that I'm looking forward to in November of getting back onto the table. I do like Hockey Bones. The project I have going on Hockey Bones right now is the 92-93 playoffs. And so I want to get that going. I have a project just about with every one of my sports games and seasons. Are you a Hockey Bones player, Joshua? Oh, yeah, you too. Okay, cool. Yeah, check out when I put a video out here a couple of days, maybe tomorrow. It's a everyday player hockey. It's a short, quick hockey game from everyday player games. And it goes pretty smoothly. You check out the video when it comes out. I played a full game. I only recorded the third period. It allows you to do a lot of things, but not detailed stuff like Hockey Bones or Appa Hockey or ones like that. Yeah, so that's why, that many games, that's why, and I don't get to playing a lot. I got so many of them that I've had for so long. That's the reason I'm doing a culling video. I got to start winding some of this stuff down. I hope the sale up to some people that want to buy some of the stuff, because I'm thinking about, I've shied away from doing this in the past, but I'm thinking about putting an order, a list together and hitting up Noble Knights, because they'll buy stuff off of you. But the last time I did it, their offer was pretty low, and I didn't like. So that's why I shied away from it. But I might this time, because I just got it. Like I said, I got 11 more coming in. I could cancel those P500s that I got out there, but they're actual games that I'm pretty excited about getting. Well, Joe, you probably have unless you have some, special places. I have special tables. I got great table space, but I am right now between records, CDs, and board games. I'm about at the extent of my storage ability inside my house. So has anybody else looked at or picked up that Cross Bronx Expressway game, the one that I did the unboxing for the other day? I started looking at the rules and everything. It's similar in some of the methods of coin games. If any of you have played coin games from GMT, it's similar, but it's not called to be part of the coin series. It's called the irregular something series. I forget what it is. It's irregular something. There's three. It's volume 3 in it, and there's a. See if I can find what that's called real quick. Let me bring up GMT here. It's called the Irregular Conflict Series. There's 4 games in the series right now. I looked at that, and just by looking at that the other day, wow, game multiple tables and many shelves. I have my table space is good. I got one in the front primary room, which a lot of the music and games are. I have one table that can accommodate one game. I have a card table that I set up that I have it's a learning table. Then on my master table, my master gaming table, I could actually have 4 games on there one time, but I only ever have 3 at the most, because I can take the tops off half, and I'll take like a half off and put a game down. Then I'll put on the bottom and then on the top over there, and I can slide those tops back and forth across them too. So, it's enough gaming space for me to keep games up. That's the important thing for me, especially, even hockey games. They take so long. I'll play a period and I won't maybe play the next period till the next day. It sounds like you're in really, really, if you got for twice as many games, wow, you got some big area there. Good going. But anyway, that was I was looking at that irregular series on GMT, and I got another one on my list of possibly going to go to on in that series called Echo from the Dark. It's on P500, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not. If I do, I got to make sure I do this before the end of the year, when I'm going to do that no purchase sale. Okay, I missed a couple. I missed one here on Frank. Sorry, Frank, about that. I missed it. What is an easy golf game to play? Well, I have two different types of golf games. ASG, and that's more difficult because that's shot by shot by shot by shot by shot. But the one that I have a lot of fun with is History Maker Golf from Play Games. That one there is a lot of fun. It plays a lot quicker, and you're not doing shot by shot. You're doing it a hole by hole, but it's kind of hard to explain. Like and it changes holes. It's hard to explain, but if you check it out in the videos, I think you'll see what I mean. There's videos out there on it, and it's that one is there. What I recommend to anybody if they're looking for a good, fun, and easy to play game. Okay, I think we got that one. Let me make sure I asked Del Flufford. I talked about the hole, and I talked about the boxing. I thought, oh, wait a minute. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something today, and I don't know if it's because you guys typed it on there or not. Is in the remarks section over here. Whenever somebody has put a question up, they're putting a question. That puts a question mark to signals me that there is a question. Yeah, I have some albums that I inherited from my son. The one that was a big hair metal guy and everything, and he's probably got some Def Leppard in there, and I probably just have not entered those. There's probably 30 or 40 albums that I got after he passed away. I probably haven't entered them into my collection yet. But I'm pretty sure I have some Def Leppard. But once so when I do my Saturday, when I do my reviews during the week, I listen to music all week long. I try to listen to one album a day, and on Friday I listen to a couple CDs. But I also do a little bit of research on the album, which helps me learn more about each group, a little bit more about that album, and a little bit more about what's going on. And I like that too, because I've been a music fan ever since I was a young kid. In fact, I don't have too many regrets in life, but one of my regrets in life is that I was about 13 years old. I was learning how to play the piano. I was getting piano lessons free, and I was just at the point where I was starting to feel fairly comfortable sight reading and playing, and I quit. And I thought my aunt was disappointed. She was a teacher. I says, you know what? I don't want to do this on Saturdays. I want to be out playing baseball, doing something like that. But so that's one of my regrets that I didn't continue on, because I spent many years in the 80s and 90s working with a youth theater group. And if I had continued with the piano, I could have done more arrangements and more with those kids than what I was able to do. I'm just going to take a look at my games on order list. Do any of you play the Leader series from DVG? I have quite several of those, and I have another one on order with them. It's called Yui Leader. Kind of interested in getting that one and getting it played, but never knows when it's going to come in. Then the Valiant Defense series, one of the ones that I have on that one is Pavlov's House. That's a Thompson's games. And I have Guadalcanal from the Valiant Defense series on order also. I'm waiting for that one to come in. So I have a favorite game company. I would probably have to say, because just looking at my wall the games over here real quickly, I would have to say, if I had to say I had a favorite, it's probably GMT. Okay, because I probably have more games by GMT than I have from anybody else. And a lot of that has to do with hex and counter games and things like that. And but Revolution Games has made a big push in my life, especially with the blind sword system, Civil War games, because they make playing it solo so nice because they're chit pool systems. So they have built. I've built up my pile with them also, and then of course there's always I have quite a few games now from Worthington Publishing and Tiny Battle Publishing, but if I had to say favorite, it'd probably be GMT. To say that, but then when I was talking about that blind sword system, anything that's in the blind sword system, the Shattered Series system, or the Black Swan system, that's my favorite style of play because they're all either chit or card-driven activation. Ted Racer does war games too, and he done some chit pool systems and that in his games too. The one that I have for him that I liked, I haven't had it on the table for a long time, is called Dark Sands, and that was it's chit pool. Yeah, they do release quite a few. Compass Games releases quite a few also, but I think GMT probably releases more than anybody. So right away, I got my war games right now in my queue. I got like Cross Bronx Expressway is number one to get up, and then Combat Volume 1 will be the next one. New games that I get up. Working it, they just require a lot of study, and especially the Cross Bronx Parkway requires a lot of. I got to get used to. I'm trying to associate it with the coin games. I'm a big sports fan, so all my sports games continue. Like today, I listened to one album, and then I played. I recorded one period of a basketball game today. That was the extent of my. And then this is the extent of my hobbies for today. Okay, gang, anybody got anything else they want to talk about? That's strange. I was just telling you how they put in a question mark next to those, and then you asked me a question and didn't put it next to it. Have you ever come across a game covering Dutch India Company, 1600s, 1800s? Yeah. No, you know what? The Dutch India Company, just that title there, stirs something in my brain, but I cannot remember coming across any. I just had a GMT up here. I was going to see if I still got it up here. I'm going to do a quick search on there and see if they got anything like that. No, I don't see in Dutch India. I see there's one India game. It's about their railroad. their first railroad. Oh, so that question mark's up there now. Okay. I must have got it before they had a chance to recognize that it was a question. So, Joe, what about you? Do you have a favorite board game company? Okay, there's one. There's one for you there. John Company by. There's an answer for you there, Joshua. About Joe's got a lot of knowledge on these other companies. MMP. Joe, I look at the MMP, and I do have some MMP products, but they have not hit the table yet. I was swore I was going to get one on the table this year, but it didn't happen. I did do some studying on it a little bit, so maybe next year. I think 3 different products by that, but they're all the great campaign battles of Civil War. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that I'm seeing right now is a game called the Dutch East Indies Adventures on the High Seas, and I see one on uh, Miniature Market right now. But I don't know what the extent of in the game that you're looking for. So. So, Joe, what is the which of the MMP series do you like? Hard to pick. Yeah, if you like playing all those different types like that, I bet it is. ASL, ever since I got back into gaming again, I've stayed away from ASL because I'm too much of a completeness and there's just too many products out there for me to even think about getting into that one because I can't control myself once I get going. To be honest with you. Yeah, just to start a kit. That's not really good for me. Like there's some guys here in the local gaming store several years ago trying to get me in the X-wing. Well, just do a starter kit X-wing. I says no. There's too much of that stuff. I know what will happen with me. I'll get too involved in it. Just like the blind sword systems. You know, every time the Revolution games pops one out, I bring it home. You know. I'm traveling now, visiting Nagasaki, Japan. Toured the Demo Open Air Museum yesterday and was intrigued by the Dutch Japan worldwide trading history. Seems like a great subject for gaming. Yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff out there, but I'm just not familiar with it. Been a long time since I've been in Japan. I spent a week there back, I don't know, like 1972 or something like that. I was stationed in Korea. They sent some of us over like an hour for a week over to Nagasaki, just outside of the base, and had a good time. Okay. Anybody got any subjects to bring up? If not, we'll get ready to shut her down here in a couple minutes. Joshua, why are you traveling? You on business traveling, or are you just on vacation with the family, or by yourself? What brings you to Japan? Yeah, Joe, I left Buffalo when I went in the military in '66, and then I was stationed in Belgium in let's see, '78. I got orders. No, sorry, '78 to '81. I was in Belgium, and my orders from out of Belgium were to George Air Force Base in California, and that's where I retired from the military after 20 years. And I'm out here. I got some family out here. Just for fun, lived in Japan, 792 to 94, second time back with wife and son. You lived over there. Were you in the military then? And Joe, and as far as Buffalo, when I got out of the military, a couple of things why I didn't want to go back to Buffalo. Number one, at that point in time, the economy in Buffalo was really horrid. Number two, I didn't want to shovel snow anymore. I was born and raised there in Buffalo, and I remember, working at Westinghouse or something. I'd have to get up in the morning, shovel the car out, go to work for 8 and 9 hours, come home, and then shovel to get the car back in again. And I just didn't want to deal with that anymore. I live here in California. If we get snow on the ground once every 5 years where I live in the desert, that's a lot. But I can look out right out there, and 40 miles away is Big Bear. Another 30 miles is Wrightwood Mountain. If I want snow, I can go up into there. There's all kinds of skiing and everything. But no, didn't want to do that. No. Not the military. Working in education. All right, that's cool. That's very respectable. So, Joe, that's why I didn't go back. But still a Buffalo Sabres and a Buffalo Bills fan. And I was a Buffalo Braves fan until they decided to leave town for the big dollar. The Buffalo Braves are actually now the LA Clippers. They moved from Buffalo to San Diego, and then from San Diego up to become the LA Clippers. And I was a big, as a young kid, a Brooklyn Dodger fan until 1957 when they made their move for the dollar. And I said I would never support them again. And I didn't. And I switched to the Detroit Tigers, and I've been a Tiger fan ever since. I have never been to Dodger Stadium for a Dodger game. I've been to Dodger Stadium one time in all the years I've been out here, and that was for the Elton John and Eric Clapton concert. Yeah, very little snow in Elmville. Yeah, Joe. It's always my luck. It follows me. I was trying to think what year it was. I think, let's see, 1973 or 74. So somewhere in there. I had a little bit of a break between my 2 3 year stints in Korea. And I was stationed in the 5th Mob at Warner Robins Air Force Base in Georgia. And when we had like a 9-10 inch snowfall that year. People were suffering because none of them ever drove in the snow. That was kind of crazy. So those things follow me. Been through Alabama a few times. I had to go back and forth between Georgia and Louisiana because I was stationed at a civilian airfield for 6 months in Louisiana. Yeah, you're right. The owners did swap. So, you know, said Buffalo left, Buffalo left. I didn't. That was just made me mad. I didn't care about the owners swapping. I just wanted the team to stay, and they didn't stay. That was really a dumb thing about that turn. So I was saying, I was stationed in Louisiana at a civilian air base, and it was called a civilian airport that didn't have a control tower there, called Estler Field, right outside of Pineville, Louisiana. And the reason we were there with our mobile tower is because at that point in time, there was, I can't remember the name of the base. There was a base in Louisiana where they were doing C-47 pilot training for Vietnamese using C-47s. And so the civilian airport said that they couldn't come over here and shoot touch and goes or low approaches unless we provided air traffic control. And so while they was there, so we provided air traffic control for the military people coming in and out of there and the civilians, Delta and all of them. We can just controlled everything while we were open. We were open like 16 hours a day. Gotta go. Okay, Joe. See you later. I hope you win. Check out the game giveaway on Thursday. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, we've been on for just about an hour now, everybody. I appreciate everybody for coming in and chatting with me and telling me your experiences and what you're doing with your games and life and that. And so if you're not in the game giveaway yet, check out that video and get in. You got free is free. You know, what's wrong? How's wrong with that? That's why I was thinking, wow, 1,230 subscribers. We only have 10 people that joined the video for the free game. All right. Everybody, take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.